If this movie had been put together poorly, it would have left me upset.
And the home of the brave.
Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to our final episode of the Olympic movie reviews. Today, we are talking about Miracle. Okay, guys, so we all know the story of Miracle. If you don't know it, you really need to figure out. So here's a little bit of what it is. We have this coach, Herb Brooks, who is brought in, and in this movie, he's played by Kurt Russell, and he is told that, well, we want to have a hockey team in the Olympics. We don't expect to do well because they hadn't had one put together where other countries like Russia, or in this case, Soviet Union, had them put together forever. But they didn't want to be embarrassed. So they're like, here, go, put a hockey team together, get us to the Olympics, and just do your best. And so Herb goes and he puts together this team of basically misfits. He has a lot of people that say people shouldn't be on this team, that he believes deserve to be on this team, and he puts together this full team, and they go and they play. He coaches them. They work together, and I'm sorry, because this is basically the entire movie and it's something that happened in history. There are going to be a couple spoilers. They beat the Russians, who are considered the favorite in everything. They have a team that is completely put together and has basically never lost. And in one line, they say, if you score a goal against this goalie, keep the puck, because it doesn't happen very often. And that's the story of Miracle. Now, this movie, there's a lot of things that go into it, but the one thing that everybody brought together was very, very strong performances across the board. It didn't get too much in the way of like award notoriety, but it did have great acting through it. Kurt Russell playing Herb Brooks, he captured Herb Brooks completely. I was not alive during this Miracle on Ice. I will be perfectly honest about that, but I have watched multiple interviews about it. I've watched the entire game on YouTube on different parts of that, but I definitely have. I definitely did not get to see it live, but just what I've seen, Kurt Russell played it perfectly, and then the cast of characters playing the team, learning how to work together, how to go into the system when they don't really know each other. In fact, there was a huge rivalry between the two main colleges, Boston and Minnesota, from the college playoffs, and they had to come together. They did a great job putting that all together. I just thought it was great performances all around in this movie. The music on this one was absolutely amazing. I will say that when you listen to it, it's really just a basic standard sports movie. There's some horns, some incredible sort of motivating type motifs and everything that goes together. It was just very well done, put together. Nothing special in it, but it did its job and it really brought all of this together. Now, the one thing people don't really realize with this game is it wasn't all about the hockey. It wasn't about the gold. We were in the middle of the Cold War. And for those of you that don't really know what the Cold War is, first off, study history. Secondly, you need to make sure you know this, because it was basically the U.S. and the USSR, or the Soviet Union, saying, hey, we have this, we have this, we have this, we have this. Who can puff their chest out the farthest? Yeah, that's exactly what it was over and over again. There was a bunch of things that were intertwined throughout there. The Vietnam conflict was part of the war. The Iran Contra affair, everything like that. And this, while it wasn't necessarily based on military, this was a huge blow to Russia's ego. And if you know Russians, you don't want to get on the bad side of their ego. They had this team that, like I said, was literally undefeated. Everybody was like, oh, they're going to win. Why are we even sending a team? And here comes this team of nobodies, U.S., and they go and they just beat them. It was great. So it was really, it wasn't directly affected by the Cold War, but it was definitely an impact on this. Another thing about this, the U.S. had basically said they're going to boycott this Olympics previously. They weren't sure if they were going to even play, and then all of a sudden, oh, they're here, and this happens. Okay, and this happens. And there's one of those things where if it was any other night, if it was any other sort of situation, this would not have happened. We would have gotten destroyed. Okay, and then the last thing that I have to say is this was a time when the Olympics were only done by amateurs. Now I know this year the NHL said they are not going to play in the Olympics. They want to keep going through and they want to have their All-Star game, whatever. I'm not exactly a fan of that choice, but to each his own. I'm still going to enjoy the Olympics and I enjoy the NHL. But at this time, it was only amateurs, and I put that in quotes because yeah, it was amateurs, but let's face it, the Russians basically were getting paid. They were having everything paid for them. They had their lodging paid for them. They had their food paid for them. Basically, everything was paid for them, so they didn't need a living. And then on top of that, they still got to do that. So it's basically like they were professionals already. So the fact that we have a bunch of amateurs destroying a bunch of professionals, it's really an astounding thing even now. And one thing about the last scene in this, they watched the Miracle on Ice over and over again, and they choreographed everything that happened based exactly on what happened with the Miracle on Ice. And it's an amazing movie, and it really leaves you feeling amazing. And there's no better movie, in my opinion, to get you all psyched up for the Olympics, which, by the way, start tomorrow. We have a couple of them starting tonight, but the opening ceremonies are tomorrow night. So be sure to catch that. Miracle left me feeling patriotic and inspired. Hashtag do you believe in miracles? Hashtag USA, USA. Okay, guys, so that's my review of Miracle, the story about the 1980 Olympics, Miracle on Ice. It's a great movie. You really need to check this one out. It didn't get, like I said, it didn't get many accolades for awards, but it was very highly recommended. It really did justice to this amazing time in sports, and they actually used a bunch of footage and everything from that in this, and it was amazing. It's so cool. You have to go see it. Anyway, guys, this, like I said, was the last Olympic movie review. I hope you've enjoyed these. I hope you're psyched up for the Olympics and get the USA a good cheering on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I don't know what I was saying there. I just kind of threw it out there, and I'm going to leave it there because I'm weird. It happens. I'm weird. I'm okay with that. Anyway, but USA, let's go. Let's cheer them on to victory. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And, of course, always, thank you for watching, guys. God bless all of you. And that's a wrap.